Alright, welcome back class to the final part of this Final Fantasy IV walkthrough here on Video Games 101, covering the last stretch of this absolute RPG classic right here as we touch down on the moon. Touchdown right here, just for the, this is the Humingway little area. One of these guys will sell you some stuff. Oh, Namingway made his way here, obviously. Mostly Humingways, but we got one Namingway. We grab the whistle. Man, how much are those? 100,000 for an elixir. It's like all my money. My goodness. Grab one of those whistles so we can call in a fat chocobo on demand. We're the Humingway family. And Fluff, relevant fact.
In the original Japanese version, plus subsequent versions of this game, you can purchase an additional item here in the Humingway family cave called the Siren, which, when used, forces you into a battle with the rarest and generally most powerful enemy of that area. While this item is found in a number of spots in the versions which supported it, the Siren was dummied out of both ours and the easy-type versions of this game, meaning it exists in the game's code, but for whatever reason it's not accessible by conventional means in playing the game. The Siren makes getting an incredibly rare drop, which itself is only dropped by an incredibly rare enemy near the end of the game, a little more manageable in those versions. An item which is next to impossible in our version, as the professor will mention later.
Yeah, Sirens would have been really nice, actually. Not gonna lie. Alright, so we're cutting through a couple caves here in the Lunar Path. Nice piece of music here. This is the Becoming a Paladin music. Led by some monsters. Procite and Juice Light? Juicy Light? Crush a Juicy Juice right about now. 9 hours into this adventure. Not sponsored, but let's enjoy the power of Odin for the first time. Odin, however you want to pronounce it. When he wants to work, man, that is satisfying. When he wants to show up, when he can be bothered. Elixir for the trouble. Instant KO of all the enemies. It's just a coin flip as to whether or not it's going to take. Yeah, 50% of the time, Odin works all the time. I read that as Moon Pudding. I so wish that name was Moon Pudding. What a time to be alive. Moon pies. No back attacks. And we got a MP top off here in a second, so it's like kinda nutcracker there for a second. Just a couple very linear caves. Not a proper dungeon or anything. Red worms. Let's test out our Excalibur toss for the first time. Is this the first time? Might not have been, but that's still pretty tasty. 6,400 damage. Yep, when it doesn't work, that's what happens. But he still bills you for it, that's the annoying thing. Still deducts the MP. It's like, I was in the shower. But I think we can bill this. Count this as a full session, don't you think, Rydia? No, I don't. Moon pudding. moon pudding. I mean, you're putting on the moon, so by definition, right? I guess we can breathe. Did we think about that? This will give us our health and, I guess, status effects are repaired there. Then the one on the opposite side is your MP top off. Alright, we're about to meet the final character which will join our party. No guarantees as to how long they'll stick around. Ooh. We got a light bulb that does that. There he is, Fusoya. Guardian of Lunarian Slumber. The blue planet. Your land, Earth. Created another moon and kept sleeping. Lunarians, but he reviews it. Don't interrupt me. Zemus. This was just before Zema came in vogue, and then I just could never separate the two in my mind. My brother Kluya. He taught us how to make airships. He made the road. And he's our father? This Kluya person? I'm a Lunarian or part Lunarian? It must be the spirit of your father. Toward the foul machination. Did you say my dad had 2 kids? Who's the... Could you maybe clue me in? We don't have any follow-up questions as to who my other sibling might be. Like, if it's Rosa, tell me now, because we don't need that. That could get really weird. I love that he starts out with Menio, by the way. The spell that cost Tella his life, he's like, oh yeah, you know that spell? Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fun. It's a cute spell. Poor Tella.
Fusoya's not here for a long time, but he's here for a good time. Mostly because he's got access to every single spell in the game on both sides, some of which your resident spellcasters probably don't even have yet. Yes, this includes the fabled Meteo. Remember that spell that Tella died using? Yeah, Fusoya can rip these off like a much younger man like it's nothing without even breaking a sweat. He only has 190 MP of course, so you need to cast responsibly, but yep, enjoy the versatility that is Fusoya's deep spell bag.
Certainly will, thank you, Blaze. Look, there's 8 more crystals. Remember when we thought there was just 4 crystals, 1 for each element? And we find out there's 4 more crystals underground. And now we find out there's 8 more crystals up here on the moon. They really could have rolled this into 2-3 games. Just... Alright, now you gotta go save all the crystals from the moon, get all the ones from Mars, get all the ones from this next galaxy. Well now, with Fusoya and Tell, let's rush back. And before we can head back to Earth right now, but there's one final side quest, which we can do, which will earn us... I mean, Odin's pretty powerful, but I guess you could argue the most reliably powerful of all the summons, and I want to see. I've noticed that Fusoya has Christmas tree lights alternating between red and green. I gotta see Meteo, it's been too long. Last time we saw it, someone died. Guess it takes a while to get off the ground. Here we go. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, that's why we're doing this side quest right now. While we still got Fusoya in the party. Minor spoiler there, but... Slime, tofu, and pudding. You have a whole meal between the three of those. You have your appetizer, your entree, and your dessert. I guess slime is the appetizer. I don't know, some cultures probably eating slime. I'd try it. Probably a delicacy in some parts of the world. But definitely make sure you rest up before this next side quest. If we go back, we interact with the crystal and go back to Earth, it'll force us into the kind of penultimate dungeon, so we don't want to do that just yet. I mean, you can do this later, but I'd rather do it with Fusoya in tow. Slime's a quality appy. But park right there on top of that ring and enter Cave Bahamut. Got that same Land of the Monsters music. And we're gonna run from everything here, dropping ridiculous money. We're dropping like more gold than most people on Earth make in a lifetime in this world. We're just lazily. Let's give Edge the strength for now. Just lazily dropping it without regard. Yeah, those two guys that Sid employs, like, by the time they die, they'll have saved up maybe 1,100 gold. Don't ask me how I know these things. His name's Fluff. Samurai shield. A kit Cecil with all the samurai gear. We're about to get what is more or less the best gear in the game for pretty much everyone in the party in the final dungeon. Probably an hour away from that. Maybe a little less, actually. I don't think the penultimate dungeon will take all that long. Relatively linear, as is this. Got some tough baddies in the back half of this side quest area, so if you do want to put it off until later on in the game, there's no shame in that. But being that we just cloned our Excalibur 50 sometimes, it's a little extra insurance. That's what I'm trying to say. D-bone. Like fire's good on the dead, as is my sword of light. I beefed up light sword Excalibur. Paging Dr. Bone. I like that animation too. He's like, I don't know. I'm D-Bone. Another college nickname. Some guy forced his roommates to call him. Yeah, we're not going to use these gears by the end of the game. I may have gone a little overboard with some of my purchases there. Fluff, can you share a quick fact to take my mind off of my buyer's remorse?
Another quick fact, albeit an only mildly interesting one, but Fusoya is the only member of the party with an in-game portrait facing right. All other party members look forward or to the left. In the after years, he is the only character not to have a new portrait, minus any characters in their pig or frog status.
Good call. Have to have you tell us about the after years in a bit. Alright, our first Behemoth.
Behemoth hits with crippling physical attacks, so using Blink on the members of your party as quickly as possible is the best strategy for keeping them alive. Note that you can't run away like normal from this sort of mini-boss battle, so use Edge's Smoke or the exit spell to get away in an emergency.
Thank you, Blaze. Nuke your Behemoth for 15 seconds. Uncovered, full power in the microwave. I know this isn't gonna work. Nope. It's like, why are you wasting my time with a battle like this? Check my contract again. It's an angry kitty. There he goes. 11,740. Pretty tasty. Yeah, the whole bottom floor of the Bahamut cave is crawling with that level of enemies. Yeah, this floor. I think it's this floor. Yep. Running is not a thing. We can use exit for what it's worth. That's a guaranteed escape from a battle like this, at least. This will get us there. Not impressed. Yeah, I didn't think that'd work. You're driving the ship, Edge. This might get it done. There we are. Ice 3. Nice. I think that's her first level 3 ice, or level 3 any spell. $47.50. It's such a slap in the face to everyone working their fingers to the bones, earning 5 gold a year. Just follow us around. I'd say you can make a living in a half. Be richer than most countries in this game. So how'd you make your millions? Oh, I just followed this guy named Cecil around. He would run from battles and just a lot of money would come out of his pants. I'd just pick it up. I don't know. Just shocked no one else ever thought to do that. Fusoya looks like a wet blanket or something when he's dead there, swooned on the floor. I have to keep Riddy alive here to give her the XP. Fusoya, not so much. I probably could have left him dead. Like I said, he's not going to be with us the whole time. Alright, definitely top up before this one. We learned about this in the library in the Land of Monsters. The king, the ruler of all monsters, all summons. We're about to meet him. Let's make sure we're topped off on our MP. So yeah, certainly. Yeah. Good enough. Oh, did I say Fusoya could do that twice? Maybe the math doesn't work out. Anyway, Bahamut.
Bahamut isn't too dangerous, especially with Fusoya in the party. Mostly you just want to hit him with your most powerful attacks. This includes Fusoya's Meteor. When Bahamut's count gets down to around 3, have Rosa and Fusoya cast Wall on themselves to withstand Bahamut's crippling and party-destroying Mega Flare. At level 40, you might even do enough damage to take him down before it even comes to that, but yeah, this will keep you alive to stay in and complete the fight.
Good call, Gary. That should do something. Very nice, very nice. He might not get off his ridiculous attack, actually. We're doing so much damage to the man. Especially after this Meteor hits. Sweet. Yeah, the Meteor. There is a reason Tella died. Like, we can't let him do that all the time. All right, got Bahamut.
Now that we've defeated Bahamut, we've got him as a call to use his Mega Flare, which deals incredibly powerful non-elemental damage to all enemies. This is now Rydia's go-to powerful move moving forward, and will be useful in countless boss battles through the end of the game. Trust me, I talked to Gary.
I can confirm they do converse in the break room. I think it's time to finally return to Earth. But Pudding's gonna miss us, I know. I'm sorry, Moon Pudding. My people need us. Our people need us. Just lay down in our sweet free beds here. One for everybody. Nice touch. Not really sure how the layout is. We're only sleeping kind of like in the bottom half. All right. Let's free up some more pant space. Let's save. Made a lot of progress here. And they are going to throw us right into action once we touch down. No one even like pulls you aside for a second. It's like, so what was the moon like? No, they just get back to work. That's how it goes. Alright, so in later versions of the game, there is more to do here on the moon. There's one more stop, so might as well just hear about it from Fluff.
Like we've repeatedly mentioned, there's more stuff to do in subsequent versions of Final Fantasy IV. This extends to a special area on the moon known as the Lunar Ruins. Located next to a stone face, which is an allusion to our real galaxy face on Mars, which is a topographical feature on the surface of Mars in the Cydonia region. The Lunar Ruins contains a series of trials, one for each member of the party, which can only be accessed after defeating the final boss. Each trial has a bit of a story and mini challenges for each individual character, and each culminates in a battle with beefy lunar versions of the various summons of the game in order to earn a bunch of OP loot and abilities.
There you go. Thank you very much, Fluff. Anyone played that version? Experienced the trials? Just any comment on that would be appreciated as we return to Earth to land in the midst of just utter chaos, as you can see right here. At least no one jacked our little hovercraft or airship. First airship, we have two. Scream! Did you literally say scream? The Giant of Babil. He makes a meal out of this. I know he's a giant, but just scale and everything. He looks very small from here. But yeah, he really milks this for all it's worth. Takes a couple steps. Does a little flame circle all around. There's nothing there. It's not like a town there. The only thing that's on this continent, besides the tower itself, is Eblin, and it's already been destroyed, so. Add that as another trope that Square loves. They love their giant robot type weapon things. But wait, I love it. Got the original theme right here. King Giot. I don't know if I would have brought my daughter to this battle, but good to have the backup. And Yang got out of that bed. Nice. Alright, Giot and Yang. Tank squad. Oh, look at that. The Red Wings. Sid. And those guys that I said make 1,200 gold in their lifetimes if they're lucky. Oh, and the people from Mysidia. Oh, Palom and Porum. The Elder removed our petrification. Nice. We're getting the gang back together. Oh, Edward's here. Well, let me show you the courage you taught me. I do like that. Let me show you my new wife, too. Looks like he, got one of those dancers. Good for you, Edward. My new love interest. Everyone, The giant is intimidated. Gotta get inside and destroy its control system. I see, so we destroy the core. Just trying to keep up. Who's this? Fusoya from the moon? Moon? Just take us there. Got the best pilot. Hope no one jacks my whale while we're in there. Some teenager. You just see him flying away with it. Let's park it outside the liquor store, asking adults to buy it for him. Alright, inside the Giant of Babil. Nice piece of music here, too, from Uematsu. And a relatively straight shot in the giant. It's pretty straightforward. There's some treasure along the way, but you don't really have to go too far out of your way in this place, which I appreciate. Fusoya does have some crazy eyebrows. You especially see it. Well, you see it right there, but you also see it in the profile view when we go into the menu. Yeah, I'm kind of over all battles at this point. If you're not a boss, just don't have time. Yeah, they build the urgency very nicely with this piece of music here. It's a bit much. Searcher, would you happen to be related to Alert? By chance. Chest up here. More samurai arrows, and then one tucked away kind of on the left here. Kind of blends in a little bit, despite its glow. Get the sense that lightning attacks work well if you're fighting enemies in here, but we've arrived at the stomach. Life. No, thank you. Thank you for your interest in trying to kill Cecil and Company. I'd say Sid and Company. Doing good damage to those horsemen. I don't even know what kind of armor Fusoya's rocking. Moon stuff, I guess. Moon stuff. I'm no Blaze. Don't ask me about that. There will be a save spot shortly before the bosses. Bosses, that's right. Plural, in more ways than one. And this is, yeah, the monsters here. Should have healed up before this one, but last alarm. Keep going for the ninja when I mean to go for dart. Fishin'. Yeah, it was easy out. Brady was doing like a, what's it all for? There's a safe spot right there, yeah. Just a little quickie dungeon right here. Yeah, that eyebrow, man. I was about to say those eyebrows, but I think that qualifies as a uni. Might be very in on the moon right now. I do like the Mac Giant and Red Giant animations. I like the artwork for those guys. Alright, Mac Giant, you got me interested. You got me curious. How do you feel about seeing as we have a tent spot right up above? How do you feel about Samedio? From Fusoya's crazy Christmas eyes underneath that crazy unibrow. Making his debut. Oh yeah. That's almost as powerful as Meteo. Granted, it depends who you're casting it on, or using it on, but still. Alright, so up above, we have a complicated battle. A magic heavy battle, so that's why we're going with the cabin here. The lungs. The one lung. Four Fiends. You. Canazo and Mylon and Rubicante and I forget your Valvolus, right? I got Valvoline. It's really not necessary. I just did a cabin. All right, thank you. How do they give us our MP last time? Fight with all your might. Yeah. You taught me that losers can team up together, so I got these guys. All right. Gary, how about the Four Fiends?
Boss beaters.
The Four Fiends will come at you one after another without a chance to catch your breath between fights. Thankfully, with most of these bosses having elemental weakness, you can hit them with a combination of conventional spells with Fusoya, ninja spells with Edge, and calls with Rydia to exploit those weaknesses, going in the order I show here. Basically, fire for the earth elemental, ice for the fire elemental, and lightning for the water elemental. All while Rosa keeps everyone on their feet with cures, or fast/haste spells, or even berserking Cecil. For the final phase of Wind, I like Bahamut from Rydia, and just hitting with melee attacks from Cecil and Edge, if not throwing whatever you want at him, with Edge's dart. Keep it up, take him down, and don't forget to go back and pitch a tent and save immediately after this battle, as there's another boss just up ahead.
Good call, thank you, Gary. I'll get that flood going. Don't have to worry about that dream coat this time. He's hailing a cab. What happened to you? And Zemus brought you guys back, but he brought back like the dollar store versions. That fire 2 did nothing. Alright. I didn't mean to say I was requesting fire 3. That did nothing either. Yeah. They're not it compared to their original forms. Granted, we're a little beefier than we were in the past as well. This probably won't be too bad either. Yeah. Not mad about it. Alright, let's just go with something nice and generic, because I don't know if this is going to take him down. Ah. Man, those 4/9s are satisfying. I just know I'm going to have a ice spell in the tank, and it's going to switch over to Canazo. That's going to do it. Ice 3? One more ice 3 is going to take him down for sure. Hopefully the Sylph doesn't put him over the edge. Otherwise we'll be doing Canazo a favor. A little out of order though. You would expect to face them in the... you would do that, wouldn't you? Fusoya, you can nix the Ice 3. You don't have to change your plans. No? Okay. Yeah, at least he did that at the start of the battle. Blitz him. Blitz ball. Tasty. Got a lit 3 in the tank, Fusoya. Put some injure on this fella. Just looks like a deflated air mattress. Or it does look like an egg. Sunny side up. Indra. This should be good. AKA Rama. Close. Yeah. He wants another one. I'm gonna say let him do his thing this time, but... Ooh. There it is. Alright, he got it off. And then just straight up Bahamut. You got me doing it, game. Bahamut. Let's take Valvolus to the Bahamas with this Bahamut. And I feel like throwing a super sharp object at a cyclone is a safe idea, right? What could possibly go wrong? Oh yeah. Nines? Nines. That's all you got left. Nuke him. 20 seconds on high. Nice. Well done, team. Well done. $12-5. Not great, honestly, for you think taking down 4 fiends like that, but Master Zemus, Uncle Andros. Lost. Half expected him to heal us up before he left there. Good show. Let me heal you up. Just so we don't die on the way back to the cabin spot. Although this next boss isn't all that difficult. So. And yes, we can strip down Fusoya here. Sadly, he will not be sticking around after this battle. Not that his stuff is super valuable. His facial expression is literally like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? I would definitely raise my eyebrow if someone took off all my armor and the weapon out of my hand. But here we go, the CPU, one of the lamer bosses. Gary, what do you got?
Boss beaters.
The CPU is very simple if you attack this boss and its components in the right order. Begin with the defender so it can't heal itself, then the CPU, then the attacker. If you take out the 2 smaller components both before you take out the CPU, it will respond with a devastating attack which will wreck multiple party members. With this order in mind, you need to avoid spells or better said calls which will hit all the targets at once. Not to mention the CPU opens the battle with a wall on itself. Ready as Sylph is a safe call to use, as long as you follow the target order. Otherwise have Rosa and or Fusoya casting fast on party members and healing as necessary while you throw or melee away. Keep it up and take them down.
Simple enough, thank you very much, Gary. Just one component at a time. Getting our Sylph on here as recommended. Very nice trade. The drain across the entire party. Can't cast anything that hits everybody. Otherwise, I'd bring in Bahamut. It's not a practical summon for... I was going to say late in the game, but we're already at the late in the game. I don't know. It's nice, the Sylph, but yeah, it's... it's kind of like 1,800 damage isn't anything to write home about, and also 300 cured to each member is not gonna get it done in a situation where you actually need to cure, so... But again, you know, it's cute. Down it goes. Alright. This has green eyes when you're not here. About 2,000. 30,000 XP. We got considerably more for doing that, for a lot less work than we got for taking down the 4 Fiends. That second time. Normally I'd be worried about being this close to an explosion, but in this game, I know. 30 minutes in bed. Be right as rain. You wretch. Hey, Golby. Pay for this. Just gonna smack him. Don't you realize who you are? Remember? You're a good guy, Golbez. You used to give to charity and foster puppies. I'm just taking over the world business. Why did I have all that hatred? Where'd that come from? My father's name is Kluya. I don't know, maybe that's just like a popular name amongst moon people. Don't jump to any conclusions. Alright, so good. I'm not related to Rosa. That's the main thing. Thank God. You are my brother? My soul was stained with evil for Zemus to use. I mean, clearly I'm the good brother. We're a paladin. No offense. He's a lunar. You okay there, Fusoya? He's so small when you see him here. You fight him in battle, he's 5 people tall. Brother? Man, he gets a lot of mileage out of that. Word, noun, ... Worst drinking game ever. Exit spell. Kane? I don't think so, no. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me like 1,000 times. You're not back in the party. Alright, fine, being as this place is about to blow up. Kinda bothers me that door has to be on the left there. It can't be in the middle. Ready to pay the consequences. Yeah, who do you think reactivated the giant? D-bag. Rosa. Kane does it too. I guess it's a family thing. Oh wait, no, he's not my brother. Golbez says, man, why can't Kane be my brother? Everybody on the same page? Like how they do that. Pay back my debts to Zemus. I like it. He's like, if I do, just put me down. Get rid of me. It's basically like, Edge is like, I'm a man too, so I'm coming. Cecil's like, yeah, we're all men. This is such a stupid part. I will go to the moon. Cecil, obviously we're going to the moon. What else would we do? But you ladies can't come with us. Just 'cause. It's so stupid. Riddy is arguably the most important member of the party with her calls. Rose is keeping us alive this entire time. Get out of here. I have cure too. Jeez. Be a good girl and stay home. Smack him. Call Bahamut on him, Rydia. So long, Rydia. He's trying so hard to be cool. Cecil, ... Alright. I guess I should have told you to unequip Rydia and Rosa before we left. My mistake. Seems like something I wouldn't have missed, but back to the moon. Ready? And then, Rosa. I happen to know for a fact that leads outside. Were you hanging onto the landing gear that whole way? As we left the atmosphere? I don't care about that. I just want to be with you. No, but seriously, explain to me how you managed to... Because you weren't on the ship, as far as I know, to get here. And I'll protect you. Nice. And Rydia's here too, thank goodness. Yeah, she's the only caller. She's double A squad. She's beyond A squad. Alright. Well, let's rest up. Let's go. Back to Earth. I just want to show that they do have some new stuff in stock at that blacksmith's place. Because unless we find a pink tail, we ain't coming back. I saw it that time. Gotta go to the underground. Did not mean to touch down there. Let's take the whale over to Mysidia. I like taking the Falcon at this point. We call this the weekend airship? I don't even remember. We're spoiled with riches. What should we take to dinner? Well, let's see. We got the hovercraft. We got the Enterprise. We got the Falcon. We got the big whale. Which I feel like we should come up with a better name for. Maybe Fudgy. For those who, the Carvel friends out there. Carvel? Carvel? I don't think I said it right once. Carvel. Got his groove back, but we can talk to this guy and buy some stupid expensive ninja stars for 50 grand a piece. Buy a couple. Just so we're not exclusively using Excaliburs. I just love it so much. I can't help myself. Just kind of takes the edge off some of the grinding. You have to grind a little bit less when you've got Edge tossing those Excaliburs. Alright. The most unnecessary little side trip there. But no, seriously, let's go back to the moon. To the moon again! I don't know who's paying for the fuel for this thing. I guess I established we have more money than the entire collective population of Earth, so probably us at this point. Alright, so going straight back to the lunar mansion or castle or whatever it is. Still got the whistle if we need to call the fat chocobo in with some of our loot, but let's rush back to that area. And remember, there is a healing and magic restoring spot on either side once we get there, so don't have to worry about dipping into any supplies here or spells even. Oompa Loompas in the party. A lot of Oompa Loompas in the party. The entire party is poison but cane. Alright, we're all good now. And we didn't use any magic, so we should be good to go. And the crystals have all refreshed with their dialogue options. Well, not options, but we can hear new stuff from all of them once again, I believe. We'll find the good stuff down below, is what that crystal's trying to tell us. And we'll be grabbing every last piece of it. Go toward the core. That one's a little testier with us, a little shorter of patience. Even Fusoya. And they've been in for quite a long time. Like, I feel like they're guilting us for taking that little side trip back to Earth to buy 2 ninja stars. Like, you'll find much more powerful stuff down below. All right. All the colors, even red. But especially teal, aquamarine. All right, lots of loot to be found here. Once we get low enough, there's going to be some enemies we can't run from, kind of mini bosses. There's a lot of chests which have monsters in them, which may as well be boss fights, so... All this to say that there are a lot of powerful enemies, and as you would expect, there is a lot of experience which is being paid out around these parts as well. Got some monsters right here hiding in this one, couple red giants. Look like those arm cannons, like you just want to plug something into those. I don't know, some sort of appliance or something, or charge something in that dock right there. But anyway, I digress. Let's bring in Blaze to give us an overview on the best enemies to pay attention to for grinding here in the final stretch of this game.
Alright, generally speaking, and not surprisingly, the final dungeon of this game in the Lunar Subterrane and the subsequent half in the Lunar Core contains the enemies which yield the best experience in the game, making this the best place to grind to get over level 50 and ideally to the level 55 average across your party, which we recommend to take on the final boss. As such, I thought I'd give some stats on the specific enemies which I recommend you actually battle. Because of their relative insignificant experience payouts, I recommend skipping a handful of enemies you'll encounter in the first half of this dungeon, that is the Lunar Subterrane, meaning the part before it looks like you're walking on glass, which is the Lunar Core. These enemies include the Warlocks, Red Giants, D-Bone, and D-Fossils, as none of them give over 20,000 experience on their own. Remember that it's 20,000 experience split, hopefully 5 ways if everyone's alive, at the end of the battle. Sometimes some combination of these enemies will appear together, in which case it's your prerogative if you want to use maybe Rydia's Bahamut and Rosa's White to hit them all and try to clear them out faster for a big payday. But yeah, one exception I don't mind is the Trigger, who poses no threat, can be killed with 2 or 3 quick attacks, and pays out exactly 20,000 experience on their own. Likewise, the Ging Ryu and King Ryus, which are the silver and gold looking serpents respectively, each pay out 25,000 and 30,000 experience, and neither has more than 8,200 HP, making them easy to quickly take out with melee attacks. They also frequently appear together, making a payday of 55,000 experience, which you can quickly earn with the aforementioned call and spell combo of Bahamut and White. Again, note every experience listed is what you get total before it's split 5 ways, but 11,000 experience per party member for 20 seconds work isn't bad at all. The Fatal Eyes have quite a bit more HP at 25,000, but are weak against throwables and pay out 333 experience. You may also run into blue dragons and red dragons, the latter appearing both in the Subterrane and the Core. Occasionally they'll appear together in the Subterrane, earning you a very tasty payout of 77,500 experience. Just be ready for the potentially dangerous fight as their attacks hit hard. Get ready with your throws with Edge, jump with Kane, attack with Cecil, have Rosa Cure, and have Rydia hit him with Bahamut. You'll also run into Behemoths all the way until the end of the game, so remember, you can't run from those battles, but must exit or use smoke to escape if you need to. But that's 57,000 experience if you can cut through their 23,000 HP. If you have designs on earning yourself the mythical and obnoxiously rare Pinktail, you can do your grinding in the specific room where the elusive Pink Puffs, aka Flan Princesses, can appear, but we'll talk more about that once we get there and the professor points it out. Regarding the Lunar Core, which is the true final area of the game, there are a couple enemy retreads, but more importantly 3 exclusive enemies to that area which offer the best non-true boss payouts in the game in terms of experience. So if you're interested in the absolute best experience payouts in the game, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Sounds good, Blaze. Thank you very much. And note the, obviously, prospect of using Odin on some of these lesser baddies when you get a nice collection of them, as Blaze sort of mentioned there. Some of the ones you wouldn't normally attack, wouldn't recommend you attack, but anyway. Coming up on our next boss, let's go to Gary for tips on Pale Dim.
Boss beater.
Alright, with Pale Dim, you want to cast Float ASAP with Rosa at the start of this battle, because Pale Dim responds to your calls with Quake. While you're floating, the Quakes won't hurt you, so absolutely smack him with Bahamut, and anything else you want to easily take him down.
Thank you very much, Gary. Yep, every time you do a physical attack, he'll slow you down, but that's alright. I don't think you can outlast the kind of stuff that we got in mind, Pale Dim. Yeah, when you do a spell, he casts Quake as well. I'm assuming in response to Bahamut here. There it is. Whiff. Is Kane gonna finish this one? Surprisingly, yes. Did you stop floating when you came down from your jump? Guess it wouldn't do quite as much damage if he was floating during that, but there you go. I could never pronounce that properly, so I won't try to do it here, but it's better. Give him the, put that in that hand. We're about to get something to go with that. And then this is a dead end at this point, so I just like to exit back out to the top. And then touch on those pads again. Get the magic as well. And then right back in the fight. There's sort of like one more little section where it juts off on its own, but in this case it made sense to exit just because we're better off just coming back to the start. Alright, seriously guys, this time. It's not worth our time. Like, it's not related to how late in the game it is, it's related to how weak the opponent is. $600, we'll run, but not like, we're not gonna lose $5,000 during that run, you know? We're not that scared. You drop $5,000 running from an enemy, that's a sign of respect. That's what I say. Flame Whip. She'll probably only be holding this for 10 minutes, something like that, before we find her a much nicer staff, which will beef up her offensive magic capabilities. Dragoon shield, we get the full matching Dragoon set down here. First things first, come around this way, grab it, and you get the rest of the Dragoon stuff down here. Dragoon plate, Dragoon helmet, Dragoon gauntlet. Full set here. Alright, said we'd bring Fluff back in to talk a bit about that sequel here for Final Fantasy IV, so let's do it now while we're playing Dress Up with Cain. Fluff?
Earlier I talked about the different versions of Final Fantasy IV, which have been released over the years. One thing I didn't talk about is the sequel to this game, Final Fantasy IV The After Years. Initially released exclusively on mobile devices in Japan in 2008, The After Years was developed by Matrix Corporation, with Final Fantasy IV's lead designer and Takashi Tokita acting as lead developer to ensure it was in the same spirit of the original game. While many of the original characters came back, this episodic title introduces a number of new characters and takes place 17 years after the events of our game and focuses on the reappearance of the Second Moon. The game has since been released as part of the compilation Final Fantasy IV The Complete Collection, which contains this game, The After Years, and a smaller title in Final Fantasy IV Interlude, which takes place a year after the events of this game.
Thank you, Fluff. Anyone play those games, by the way? As much as I love this game, I should just grab that collection, experience it all. Artemis arrows are the best arrows in the game for Rosa, for what it's worth. If you're going the bow route, I know sometimes just $5,000 just dropping the GDP of a small country every time we run from a battle. So disrespectful. Didn't lose anything there. A pair of King Ryus, that'd be a good payout, as Blaze mentioned, but we're just trying to power through here and do the grinding off screen. Possibly in the area which Blaze has yet to mention, but yes. Yeah, if you want to go more of the staff route for Rosa to kind of beef up her spell casting, or do you want her to be more of an offensive consideration? Always the question. Another King Ryu, or King Ariu. Maybe to pronounce it a bit more faithfully. I don't know. Had to apologize for that during our Ninja Gaiden class, one of our Ninja Gaiden classes, maybe all of them, for pronouncing it as I learned it as a child phonetically. Check out our classes on that series, by the way. 5750. Drop it even more in the presence of the king. I want to see the spin-off where all these monsters spend the money that we've dropped. Oh wait, I already said that one random guy just follows us and cleans up all the money. That's fine too. I want to see that. Oh, Behemoth. Haven't seen you since the Bahamut cave. Same strategy. Behemoth meet Bahamut. You probably know him. Yeah, the blink strategy works nicely for ensuring he whiffs or using edges. One ability which does similar effect. So he can't make contact with you. Yeah, the guy that follows us around. Lady, you're putting my kids through college. was going to say, hey, we just made $65,000, but we know it's all just money we're going to be dropping, so. All right, Stardust.
The Stardust Rod has a plus 45 and plus 10 accuracy for Rydia. I say Rydia as only black magic users can equip this, and unless you've seriously taken a game-breaking left turn, then yeah, she should be the only one in your party at this point in the game when you get it. For what it's worth, this also gives you an extra 15 intelligence/wisdom for doing extra damage on your spells, and you can use this weapon as an item in battle to cast Comet.
Good call, Blaze. Thank you very much. All right, so we're coming up on B5. This is the floor which contains the room which has the pink puffs in it, which we'll talk about when we get a bit closer to it, but a lot going on this screen. Monsters here. It's the red and blue dragon combo right here. I think Blaze mentioned this is worth 70, 80 some thousand experience, so this should be a pretty decent payout for us. Maybe a bit more because they're in a chest on top of that, I'm not sure. Say probably around 17,000, 16, 17,000, we'll see. Nice chunk of change that I can't wait to drop, like 100 grand or something. We get our first piece of the crystal makeover for Cecil, culminating with the crystal sword. Won't have to slum it with that Excalibur for too much longer. Excalibur, more like Excalibur. Actually, that is an actual crappy sword, but. Anyway, lots of stuff to grab in this area, so as you follow along, let's bring back in Fluff for another Fluff fact about Final Fantasy IV.
Let's take a break from comparing versions finally, and just talk about the game itself. Final Fantasy IV is a 1991 role-playing game developed and published by Square for the Super Famicom and released as Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System that same year. Following the release of Final Fantasy III for the Famicom, Square initially planned to develop the next two titles in the series at roughly the same time, with this game initially intended to be released as one final Famicom title, while 5 was going to be the debut on the recently released next-generation Super Famicom. Early into development, Square ultimately dropped that idea due to time and financial constraints, and just focused on this title to be the series debut on the Super Famicom and SNES. Led by lead designer and Square mainstay dating back to 1985 in Takashi Tokita, the game initially also heavily involved Hiromichi Tanaka, who was the main designer on Final Fantasy III. Eager to create a seamless battle system, Tanaka changed development teams when he realized Final Fantasy IV wasn't going to be that project, actually going to work on Square's critically acclaimed action RPG and a favorite around the Video Games 101 offices in Secret of Mana instead. Somewhat abandoning the job system introduced in the previous entry in the series, Final Fantasy IV returns to the more structured approach of design of the earlier titles of the series and brought back familiar elements, like the Elemental system, that placed a much greater emphasis on dramatic storytelling. That's not to say it was without innovation. Final Fantasy IV was the first game to introduce Square's Active Time Battle System, or ATB for short, which allows enemies to get their turns in real time during the battle, forcing you to make quick decisions and even rewarding you for it. This is in contrast to their games which preceded it, in which the game would wait for you to make your moves before the enemies would get their turns. This ended up becoming the norm for many RPGs, which Square made subsequent to Final Fantasy IV moving forward. This system was praised for forcing players to make quick decisions in battle, thus introducing a new level of challenge. The game was released to near universal acclaim for its story, visuals, music, and gameplay, becoming the second highest rated game of 1991 in some publications, behind Nintendo's own The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Selling over 4 million copies between its various versions and ports over the years, Final Fantasy IV is considered by many to be one of the greatest video games of all time, not to mention one of the best in the acclaimed series itself, and one of the most influential RPGs, with many of its conventions still present in modern games of the genre today.
Yeah, it's hard to overstate just how influential, how excellent this game is. Already got some comments from the class that this is indeed their favorite title out of the Final Fantasy series. And that is high praise given the quality across that series over the years that we've talked at length. I certainly have, how much this series has meant to me growing up. This game in particular, of course, and its direct SNES sequel, I suppose, in Final Fantasy 3/6, which I am looking forward to doing a class on. Really digging deep on that one. Part of the issue with this game is all the different versions which exist these days. There's been a lot of change, whereas, yeah, I think 3 is a bit more of a constant at this point. Not saying they haven't spun it out as much as this game, but yeah, that's all this to say that's going to be a fun class. I'm looking forward to that. As we try to lay waste to these red dragons via Bahamut, there you go. Respecting the dragon type. I feel like he outranks them. Get more of the crystal garb here. Equip all this stuff when we get closer. Haven't been hurting too badly in any situations up to this point. Oh, the Count with Fatal Eye. Another one of those enemies you can't get away with through conventional means. It's a looker, by the way. It's like a demon with a giant eyeball. I don't know. Some kind of winged demon. Went slightly out of order. Should have come out this door first to grab this. But we're here now. We know Behemoth pretty well at this point. A number of run-ins with him over the last hour or so. So you can see, honestly, we're not really struggling with any of the enemies around here. Even the ones in the chests, which are meant to be a bit stronger on average. And we're still probably 10 levels shy of the average of, that kind of 50 to 55 pocket. I like to be a little on the higher end of that average right there, but across the board for the entire party. Put on that crystal gauntlet now. Looking good. Now we can cross back over to the other side where we initially meant to go. Should have, again, detoured down at the south when you come out of that tunnel first, then go up north through the door. And Fluff, you got anything else in that bag while we're still just grabbing the last equipment here in the Lunar Subterrane and just making our way ultimately to the end of this game? You got one for us real quick?
Here's a gratifyingly quick one for a change. Both Edward and Golbez have different names in the original Japanese release, being named Gilbert and Golbeza respectively. The reasoning was that the Western version only allowed for 6 characters for names. A reason I know you'll appreciate, Professor, if you get the reference based on the name we've had to use in many games we've covered over the years.
Yeah, the names of most of our TAs are pretty short. We've been able to squeeze them into a number of games when they've filled out the party. Blaze, Gary, Fluff, all 5 characters or less. I'm the one that's kind of throwing things off there. You can see that walkway over to the left. Probably seen it before as we've been making our way ultimately down to the bottom of this area. The way to get over to that, in a roundabout way we're going to get there, but yeah, you need to go down south, and then we'll cross what's going to be an invisible bridge over to the left side, and then we can go up that way and grab some loot and some other stuff. Our little teleport pad in there as well. $64.80, not even worth our time. I mean, except for the fact that the final piece of Cecil's crystal outfit is in there. Just need the sword now. As we make some room here in the pants, we're coming up on the room where the enemy which drops the very elusive pink tail exists, actually. So now with a complete overview of all things pink tail, Adamant armor, let's bring in Blaze to break it down for us.
Alright, we've referenced this and hinted at it all throughout the last 9 hours of this class. The pink tail is far and away the rarest item in the game. Why is it so difficult to attain? The enemy in question, who has a roughly 1 in 64 chance of dropping it after defeating it in the pink puff, themselves only have a roughly 1 in 64 chance of even appearing. And they'll only appear in this specific room. In case 1 in 64 doesn't sound too bad regarding the enemy's appearance, I loaded our save and battled exclusively in that room until I got one single encounter with these enemies. 5 hours later. That's right, I played for 5 hours and had one encounter with this enemy in that time. And wouldn't you know it, they didn't drop a pink tail. And we don't even have the Siren in this version to increase our chances of getting one by forcing pink puff battles. Now, should lightning strike you just as your winning lottery numbers come up and you actually get a pink tail, for the love of God, cast exit and save as soon as possible. Then return to Earth to that island where we turned in the rat tail by way of the airship plus hovercraft, give them the pink tail, and they'll deliver the Adamant armor. Obviously the strongest armor in the game, with a plus 100 defense, plus 20 magic defense, and plus 12 magic evasion. Not to mention it raises all attributes by 15 and protects against all elements and status ailments. Theoretically, you could even grind long enough to earn 5 pink tails to dress your entire party in Adamant armor, but it's important to note that this comes with a -1 spouse or partner. For your sanity class, give up on this pipe dream. The armor is not worth it.
Yes, save your sanity class. I echo Blaze's thoughts right there. I want to say this. At this point, I have never seen the Adamant armor. It is too rare in person in my own game. I want to point out, if you did happen to see us overlay that while Blaze was talking, this was done well after the fact, with lots of additional grinding. If you didn't see it, then that didn't happen. I've never put it that way before, but just calling out the actual editing in real time like that. But yeah, that's how rare it is. I don't know if I will have it by the time this class airs, but there you go. So you saw us cross over the invisible bridge right there, and then you go around and inside here. And this takes you to an otherwise inaccessible area, just kind of a one-off dead end ultimately, but again, some loot to be found over on this side, some very important loot. Sirens would have been nice, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, so many battles, so much loot. Fluff, you got, I know I'm hitting you up a lot. You got another one for us.
A significant bug which was fixed from the initial 1.0 release of the game in Japan and the subsequent 1.1 version, as well as our SNES version, was that during battle initializations in certain locations, the game's memory address would get messed up, resulting in the enemy attack sequences being broken to where they just continue to cast stone on themselves until they destroyed themselves, never attacking your party. This was actually the sole bug which was fixed between that initial 1.0 release and the subsequent 1.1, as well as our version of this game.
A single bug fix, how about that? Thank you very much, Fluff. Good call, as we have a little safe field right here, actually. There's one more on the actual route to the final boss here in Final Fantasy IV, for what it's worth, but gotta go back this way to get ourselves the final weapon for Cecil and the Crystal Sword. Standing between us. Wyvern.
Boss beater.
Alright, I hope you just saved because Wyvern likes to open up with the ridiculously powerful Mega Nuke, which will likely drop a few members of your party. Get back on your feet as quickly as possible with items and spells, and cast a wall on the most important members of your party, probably starting with Rosa herself. Wyvern will also give itself a wall at some point, but Bahamut doesn't care about such pathetic displays. So hit him hard and claim the Crystal Sword.
Sounds good, Gary. Thank you very much. And will do. More of these, you can get off the better edge. Yep, there goes that wall. We're still good with Bahamut, though. Lose my voice. That's how long this game is. Down. Down, puppy. All right. Good work, team. Crystallis.
The Crystal Sword is the most powerful weapon for Cecil, at least in this version of the game.
Yeah, again, no trials in this version. Thank you very much, Blaze. Let's also get a save in, actually. After taking that guy down, 956. Again, a little bit of that was grinding. Oh, Fatal, I am just not interested. How many times I gotta tell you? Not buying what you're selling. 2 Fatal Eye. Alright, this might be bad. Alright. We're alright. It's not too much farther, honestly. And now we can go back across the invisible bridge right here and carry on, and there's one last safe spot just up ahead before we reach the Lunar Core, We'll bring in Blaze to talk more about that in a moment. That's all we're getting on this floor. Good lord. Yeah, chest in a room all of its own, not surprised. I'm surprised by the type of monsters. I've seen worse. Let's see some of the protective gear we've been given. Rosa and just the party in general, the upgrades. Doing a good job on these weaker enemies, at least. Yeah, they're not impressed by that. Maybe they'll be impressed by Rydia's Bahamut. Let them decide for themselves, Rydia. Are you not entertained? That's what that face was. Yes, they are. Number of times we celebrate with Kain off of the screen. But he's still leveling up. Heroine outfit there. Pop that on Rydia. Alright, so she and outside of a couple upgrades to headwear, we'll get a couple ribbons. Classic Final Fantasy fashion. Near the end of this dungeon, this final dungeon. One for each of them. Did I actually equip that crystal sword? I did not. I just thought, wait a minute. Thinking of all the upgrades we've given out. Yeah, it's tasty. Crystal sword to match the full set. And we got one last save spot right here. I don't think we need the cabin this time, so. Let's tent it up. Get a save on file here. More tough battles ahead. Like right next door. Alright, to get Kain's final weapon. The Lance of White. Plague.
Boss beaters.
Plague's move of choice is Count, which gives you 10 non-action seconds before it kills your entire team. You can completely take the drama out of this battle by killing a member of your own party, then reviving them. This forces Plague to use Count again, which refreshes the timers on everyone, giving you a fresh 10 seconds. If you want to do this as designed, it's just about inflicting as much damage before the countdown wipes out your entire party. This just basically means bring your A game, jumping with Kain, throwing or attacking with Edge, attacking with Cecil, berserking Cecil with Rosa, and of course using Bahamut with Rydia. Keep it up, take him down.
Good call, Gary, will do. Do you happen to know Fatal Eye, by the way, Plague? Alright, it's getting a little down on the wire. I think once we get this Bahamut... Oh god. Kain? Oh, thank goodness. We love the drama as it counts down to 0 right at the end. But there it is. Kain's greatest weapon. The White Lance.
The White Lance is Kain's best weapon, at least in this version of the game without the trials.
That's why you say before that battle. Just in case. And here we go, the ribbon battle. Pair of ribbons, the sacred ribbon. Dr. Lunar.
Boss beater.
The undead dino pair are weak against flame, and Cecil's white/holy infused crystal sword. Bahamut also works incredibly well, so just basically once again go with your A game, just without the threat of a countdown this time. Keep on top of your health with Rosa, and take him down to earn a pair of ribbons.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, that sword will do some nice damage on them from Cecil. Glad I finally remembered to equip it. Always like it when more damage gets dealt. Well, I don't like that, but to the one that didn't die in that exchange. And we have one last weapon to get for Edge to go with that other sword which we got. Yeah, there you go. Tasty. This jump might get it done. Who's not wearing the ribbon? Certainly not Rosa and Rydia.
The ribbon will protect its wearer against virtually all status ailments. Very important for your spellcasters and callers so they can keep everyone who does get hit by these ailments healthy.
Good call, Blaze. There you go. Alright, you're kitted up. Rydia's kitted up. I'm gonna hold anything in that hand now. Get rid of the remaining samurai stuff. Sorcerer, Full Moon, Black Belt, Samurai Gauntlet, Samurai Shield. Alright, that should be enough pant space for the rest of the game. Make sure we don't die on the way back to the save. Cabin might be in order this time. I like they still explain it to me. It's my 187th save spot. I worked it out by now. One more save. This next room is going to be awful. That's when they switch over to the nothing but essentially bosses, which you can't run from. Alright, just down these stairs through the door, we've reached Lunar Core. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Realized it as those final words were coming out of my mouth, but so a number of enemies which are exclusive to this area in the game, and these are amongst the most powerful enemies in the game and the best paying out enemies in the game on top of that as well. So we'll have Blaze come in and give us the rundown on all the enemies around here in just a moment. We have one, I guess, final boss before the final boss, just to get one last powerful weapon for Edge. So we'll hold off for just one moment before we bring in Blaze, just so we can get Gary's tips on the penultimate boss here in Final Fantasy IV. Got ourselves a ninja star from that chest, that's nice. Still not as good as the Excalibur, but closest thing, and not nearly as nice as that spoon, which it's starting to itch in my pocket there. Can't wait to use that on the actual final boss here in just a moment. Yeah. Enemies just laugh at the prospect of seeing Odin at this stage in the game. Looks like it has some sort of problem with its neck. It can't really properly even look at us, seemingly. Can't maybe move its neck. So maybe what we're doing here is just a mercy for the poor red dragon. Make sure we're topped off on health before we take on this or any boss in this game, but certainly when it's the penultimate boss. And obviously, a lot of them around here are completely optional. I think most of them were. It's just to get equipment. You can just very easily just go down those stairs and continue on in the Lunar Core here, but yeah, if you want Edge's weapon here, Ogopogo, Gary.
Boss beater.
Same strategy with the Ogopogo, just bring your A game, jumping with Kane, attacking with Cecil, throwing or attacking with Edge, and yeah, just Bahamut with Rydia, healing with Rosa. Not rocket science at this stage in the game. We're getting close, class, we're getting close.
Thank you, Gary. I say the Ogopogo kind of reminds me of the Bizarro version of the Leviathan, which we defeated in the Land of Monsters. Well, bested. I don't know if we didn't kill it. It's their on-call for Rydia, but made kind of redundant once we got Bahamut. I was trying to think of where Ogopogo sounds familiar from, but it was one of Fluff's facts earlier talking about the door glitch and how they kind of made a joking response to that in their Square newsletter called the Ogopogo Examiner, so there you go. I think it's also the name of Canada's version of the Loch Ness Monster, basically. It's like a lake monster up there that hangs out in there. Somewhere in British Columbia, Canada, I'm not sure, but so there you go. It looks like some of those baddies that you've encountered in the lake area, the rivers, in the first Final Fantasy, actually. Trying to think of what those enemies were called, but the name escapes me in the moment. Again, you can check out as we finally topple the Ogopogo. Make sure Edge has best weapons across the board there in both hands. So hinted at this earlier, mentioned it, that the toughest enemies in the game, the best paying out experienced enemies in the game, are found exclusively in this area and the next couple screens moving forward as well. So now with an overview on the enemies you'll encounter around these parts, the best grinding spot in the game arguably, let's go back to Blaze for some information and strategies.
Alright, the most efficient place to grind in all of Final Fantasy IV is in the back half of this dungeon. Also known as the Lunar Core, this is the area where the floor looks like glass, and you'll only encounter a very select crop of high-paying enemies. It's worth mentioning that you cannot use exit in this area of the dungeon. I'm not referring to battles, I'm talking about actually leaving this area of the dungeon. You have to return to the Subterrane if you want to successfully cast exit to be sent outside. The enemies in this area include the aforementioned red dragons, who I believe are the sole enemies you can run from in this area, plus the aforementioned behemoths. There are only 3 new additions to the bestiary that you won't find anywhere else in this area. First, we have the evil masks, aka death masks. Paying out 50,000 experience per, you can sometimes encounter 2 of these at once, paying out what I believe is the single highest combined experience haul in the game of 100,000. They have 37,000 HP each, so this won't be an easy battle, especially considering that these giant Richard Dreyfuss looking faces love throwing walls around. They'll quickly wall themselves, then attempt to wall themselves again, which will throw them back on you. With that in mind, you want to use a powerful spell like Rose's White. If you do it, make sure you use it on a party member who has a recently wall on them. Recently cast wall. As always, Rydia's Bahamut is unaffected by the walls, so that's always a good move. Otherwise, just attack with Cecil, throw stuff with Edge, and jump with Kane. Next, we have the Breath, which pays out 60,000 experience. This enemy will spend most of the battle just scanning you while you chip away at its 40,000 HP. Despite having a reputation for being resistant against magic, hitting it with a spell like White or Nuke will put up decent damage, though I still recommend Bahamut for Rydia. Have your fighters do their usual, of course, because you don't need to take any precautions, and this enemy pays out the second best experience in the game as far as non-bosses go. I'm going to call Breath my enemy of the game here in Final Fantasy IV. The owner of the best experience payout for a single enemy in this game, on the other hand, boss or otherwise, is the Mind at 65,000 experience. A serious recommendation if you plan on spending significant time grinding in this area of the core is to have everyone equip a headband, a purchase you can make back in the armor shop at Baron. This resists confusion, which is key considering Mind's favorite go-to move is using Charm on a random number of members of your party pretty regularly. They can make escaping, let alone battling this enemy, very difficult, the various confusions as the professor shows, but remember you can use either Exit from Cecil or Rosa or Edge's Smoke if things begin to get out of hand. Hopefully one of those party members will not be confused if you're starting to drop. Physical damage doesn't do much against Mind, so use White and Bahamut to quickly drain Mind's relatively meager 20,000 HP. Because of how different these battles go, if everyone has confusion resistance against the Mind here, I'm going to do something a bit unconventional and call the Mind the actual enemy of the game, albeit with an asterisk. Because with confusion resistance, you can put this weaker enemy down quickly and without too much fuss to earn that game-leading 65,000 experience. But there you go, the enemies and strategies for them, for the best grinding spot here in Final Fantasy IV in the core, to get you to that target of roughly level 55 across the party to be fully prepared for the final boss who is just around the corner.
Thank you very much, Blaze. Very much appreciate it. So yes, we are coming up on the final boss. So how this is going to go basically is we're going to take you up to the screen where you will encounter the final boss and just stop a few steps shy of getting there. And then, then we'll just kind of do a little changeover. Maybe a star wipe. I haven't done one of those in a while. Get excited for the star wipes, you understand. And at that point, I think just pick back up when we're around level 55. We'll show the change log, obviously, but yeah, just going to be doing a bunch of grinding in this area. I'm going to be spending some time in the Pink Puff room as well, which Blaze pointed out earlier, that room where I think it was just a cabin in there earlier, actually. That's all that was in there, but yeah, the mines, the breaths, obviously the evil masks, which, yes, do look quite a bit like Richard Dreyfuss to me as well. So just us, class. Leave a comment. Top of everything else. Keep forgetting that Cecil has the exit spell as well. Blaze reminded me there. And of course, Edge's Smoke. Good way to get out of those battles, but I'm just trying to get down to the coriest part of the core right now. Just make sure we show you every step of the way leading to the very end of this game. You can see it kind of teased there in the background. Battling us tooth and nail every step of the way, but we have finally made it. So don't take a few steps to the north unless you are ready to fight the final boss here in Final Fantasy II. Just wanted to show you right there. And now the star wipe. We go from mid to late 40s in the levels to... Love it so much. Alright, so we are now averaging around 56, I would say, across the board. You can see Cecil, Kane are a bit higher there, but yeah, this is good shape to take on the final boss. Rydia wouldn't get Meteo until level 60, I believe, so she does not have that spell, but that's alright. You really don't need to go any higher than what we're at right now, but you can see Rosa has all her spells, all that good stuff. We have a ton of junk. Let's do this thing. Let's close this out. Golbez and Fusoya have been patiently waiting for us to do all of that grinding, trying to get those pink tails. And Fluff, I'm told you have a relevant fact here.
An interesting little Easter egg, but Golbez's HP in his and Fusoya's battle here against Zeromus at the end of Final Fantasy IV, or 2943, can alternatively be read in Japanese as Nikushimi, which means hatred. His starting HP in the aforementioned Final Fantasy IV sequel in the after years, which is 2971, can be read as Sugunai, meaning atonement. A nice full circle moment for Golbez there.
Agreed. And remember, speaking of Golbez, when I pointed out earlier, make note of Golbez's size relative to the rest of our party. Here's a refresher in case you forgot. Yeah, what happened, Golbez? I don't know, I guess apparently being on the left side, something about that just makes you, it's like the Hall of Mirrors over there. Zemus has his creepy, oh, okay. Never mind, I was all ready for a fight. I was about to call in Gary. Alright, Gary, I guess you can take the rest of the class off. Stand by just in case. I would so love it though, genuinely, like despite all the grinding. If they actually defeated him right here, and this is a spoiler, they did not actually defeat him right here. I don't think I'm spoiling that for anyone. I would say well done. Just finally. Just not everything needs to lead up to some climactic finish. Oh, you're here. Yeah, no, we took him down. Wasn't that hard. Right there on scale, he looks the same size as us, actually. Another one of those Cecil, ... Rydia, ... Huh? Oh. I'm the absolute dark substance, product of Zemus's hatred. My name is Zeromus. He's rebranding himself right there. It's like, can't not think of Zema, I don't know. Zeromus, it's like Zema with half the calories or something. Death only increased Zemus's hatred. Yeah, I can't imagine that would make any... Like, it's not going to put anyone in a good mood, especially someone as evil as Zeromus. Just doesn't trip off the tongue, Zeromus. That is a, it's a cool animation, though, I have to say. You know that spell, too? Oh, he liked that. I guess Fusoya had already committed to it. I can appreciate that. Fusoya, clearly the better magic user of the two, the more powerful. The crystal. There's a hint right there. You, the man of darkness. Using it does not mean anything. Oh, we need a paladin to use the crystal on him. We volunteer. Oh, that's not good. There's gonna be 9s across the board. Yup. I like when Fusoya dies, he just looks like just a deflated mop. Or a regular mop, just the bottom of a mop. Forget the deflated part. Alright, can Rydia show up and bail us out again like she did? Or maybe Edward has his harp or something? Here we go. Oh, look, Sid's alive, and so is Yang, and there's Edward. Palm and Porum have been unfrozen, unpetrified. Love it. Love the build up to the intro in this one. Show us what true courage is. I mean, you could learn that from anyone who's not you, Edward. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, sidekicks of the Elder. Oh, there's King Giat and his daughter. A couple random ladies. I think someone at Square... Wake up, dude. Cecil and Cecil ... I think someone at Square, when they saw this scene, they're like, maybe the president's like, all right, we need a lot more characters for the next Final Fantasy, for the SNES at least. Enough to fill out that room right there, and they certainly fulfilled their wish. And there's so many characters in Final Fantasy VI, but I digress. Got the crystal from our brother. Zeromus, for all those living on the earth, I will destroy you. Not a very paladin thing to say. now all of our friends show up in pairs, one by one, to heal a pair of our allies right here. Alright, well that brings them all back to life, but then each pair is going to bring back a pair to full health here. Got Tella and Edward, that's a nice pairing right there. Of mourning the loss of Anna together. That'll bring back Rosa and Edge on their feet there. Or Rosa and Rydia, excuse me. We're just bouncing around here. Nice of Zeromus to just hang out and let all of our allies show up in spirit to top us off on health. Doesn't seem sporting like Rubicant. I can't see him topping us off. Kane and Edge back on their feet. And lastly, who's going to get Cecil back up top? I mean, 1 Cure 4 would probably get me most of the way, but there you go, Fusoya and Golbez. So yeah, Fusoya, as Fluff kind of alluded to without trying to give anything away, is actually our uncle, I suppose. Just bits of story which we did not really get in this version of the game. Wasn't made crystal clear, no pun intended. They just kind of delve into that a bit more in the other versions of the game. But alright, finally the final boss. First thing to do before we bring in Gary. Gary's still standing by, thankfully. He knows better than to fall for a false ending like that. Yeah, first thing you gotta do though is to use the crystal. Once you use that, then Zeromus' true form will reveal itself. His true colors emerged. Is he even more evil? Is there a third layer, a zero sugar variety? Gary, take us home.
Boss beater.
Alright, after you use the crystal, it's time for the final and toughest boss battle here in Final Fantasy IV. First, I recommend that you average around level 55 across your party. You can beat Zeromus with everyone on the wrong side of level 50, but you'll need some luck with regards to what abilities Zeromus will use. Specifically, I'm referring to his most devastating attack, Big Bang, which can do anywhere from 500 to 2,000 plus damage to every single member of your party. What's worse is he can chain a couple of these back to back if the mood should strike him, so if you have considerably bad luck, he'll roll that out twice and it'll do enough damage to defeat your entire party though. Admittedly, all those boxes being ticked is relatively rare if you come into this battle averaging level 55 across the team. Otherwise, Zeromus will use comparatively less dangerous spells like Virus, Meteo, which will only target a few members, and some of which only target one party member like Nuke or Weak. He also likes to use a move called Black Hole, which removes all status effects on the screen whether you're trying to buff yourselves or debuff him, so it's not worth wasting Rosa's turn with a spell like Fast, especially considering she should be your main healer. So, what's the strategy? The one exception to Rosa's role as healer should be at the start of the battle, when you should use White on the boss before he gets any hits in. That's assuming she's at least reached level 49 to learn it. This will do about the max of 9,999 or close to it. Otherwise, just have Rosa use Cure 4 and Life 2 as necessary. Rydia should use Bahamut, which will do roughly 6,000 damage. If you haven't gotten that, then use Nuke, which she gets at around level 50 for roughly the same amount of damage, give or take. Have Edge throw his best stuff at this point, starting with the Spoon, aka the Knife, if you still got it. That one-off powerful throwing item for that max damage. If you use the Excalibur trick, like Fluff talked about, then obviously toss those to deal over 7,000 damage per toss. After that, fall back on your Ninja Stars. Once you run out of things to toss, just go with your normal attacks, as this will generally deal more damage than his ninja magic. Lastly, Cecil should attack, and Kane should jump, and obviously in the case of the latter, this can sometimes help him avoid the boss's use of a Big Bang or two. If you want to be especially conservative, have Rydia use Asura every turn if you pick that up to give you a decent chance of topping off everyone's health in full each turn as well. Alternatively, you could try using Rydia's Asura in place of Rosa's Cure 4 to put Rosa on offense with white every or every other turn to deal some extra damage. It's your prerogative. Just know that you're rolling the dice that Rydia will top you off, not to mention you won't get double big banged into oblivion, but that's the strategy. Just keep it up, keep on top of your health. There's nothing after this, so don't hold back on using those elixirs or anything else you got in that bag at this point. Take a turn where everyone uses an elixir should you need it, but yeah. If you get defeated the first time, don't lose heart. Simply reload and try it again, and you'll probably get better luck with regards to how Zeromus' behavior works and using that big bang to finally dish out enough damage and outlast him to take him down, and congratulations, you have beaten one of the greatest in Final Fantasy IV.
Thank you very much, Gary. Excellent work today. So many boss beaters for this game, my goodness. And all my TAs doing an excellent job. Fluff, actually, I'm told you have one last Fluff fact to share with us. What have you got?
I mentioned earlier how Zeromus is actually harder in the easy type version of this battle. Not only does he end the battle with a countdown which will end your entire party unless you put him down in time, although maybe Gary's trick from Plague works there as well, but Zeromus opens up with the big bang right at the start. I wonder if maybe Square's president was walking by the guy in charge of this' office just as they were putting the finishing touches on easy type and reminded them, hey, make sure you don't make it too easy.
Your guess is as good as mine. Thank you very much, Fluff. Seriously, excellent work today. This is a substantial class here, a substantial game. We're not quite done yet. It looks like something out of, I don't know. Maybe Super Metroid, I could see going up against something like this. I could see Samus Aran aiming for those blue dots. I don't know if those are meant to be the eyes, or maybe that little red part on the inside of that eye right there. Launching some super missiles. Gotta be getting close though, and we're doing alright here. We're withstanding the big bangs. Medios ain't too bad. He's playing nice with us here, just focusing in on two different party members, and it's still not even doing all that much damage. Just realized Rydia's at, what did I say, level 56 or something like that, and you can see her health, even if she reached level 99, would be nowhere near 9,999 HP. She still has half of what Cecil's rocking there, but there it is. Zeromus down. Bahamut stuck on the screen, rather anticlimactically at this point. Take your time. Set a record here on Video Games 101 for longest death sequence. Was being a little sarcastic when I said take your time there. Alright. And sometimes you get like the fadeaway. It's always like a special kind of disintegration or death animation for the final boss relative to all the other bosses in the game. Rose is still deep in thought about that next spell. I don't think you need to at this point. I think we're all good. Not perish as long as there is evil in the hearts of people. Graham. What? King Graham? What? Yeah, people are always going to be angry about something. Hence the sequel. Seriously, a fire extinguisher at this point? There you go. Good work, team. And there's your 7-piece. Though I guess Golbez was never really part of the... yeah, we had... I'm trying to think of how many party members we had all total. Maybe about 10. Now counting Golbez, we had Pal and Porum, Edward, Sid. So, yeah, about 10. Just as you held good in your heart to fight evil. Sounds very much like Link to the Past, kind of. Someone with a good wish in their heart possesses the Triforce. Again, the game with goodness is my middle name. Yeah, what are you doing? You guys are going out for a bite to eat? I'm going to sleep for eternity. Yeah, we got to get back to our planet. Sounds good, Fusoya. You coming with Golbet? Wait, what? That's true. Everyone's going to throw stuff at you. Wants to see his father's people. Alright, brother. That's sweet. Caused you so much pain. The car's leaving. So much for a long goodbye. Cecil, it's your last chance. Tell the sequel. Goodbye. Thankfully, they are just kind of lingering there for the proper goodbye, but that's nice. Calling him brother. So long. Cecil. That the last Cecil ... that we see in this game. And now let's just enjoy the lovely ending here. Done in classic, well-executed RPG fashion where we check back in with all the characters for a bit. But we get our prophecy one last time. One to be born from a dragon, hoisting the light and the dark, arises high up in the sky to the still land, veiling the moon with the light of eternity. It brings another promise to Mother Earth with a bounty and mercy. The moon has just started to seek for its own light. Very Star Wars. If you can read this, you don't need glasses. Spaceballs, anyone? Not quite on the level of Final Fantasy VI's ending. I think that might arguably be my favorite ending out of the entire series. 8's was very good too, but yeah, 6, just checking back in with all the characters as they escape. It's very nice detail. And the lunar whale sleeps beneath the waves till we need her next time. Where's Palom? Chatting up a lady if I know him. Or chatting up that frog, it's hard to tell. Ladies to your right. Our left, Palom. Pow! Like she's just standing there. Oh yeah, very interesting. She's like, so you were frozen for most of the adventure? Well, yeah, but... yeah, so they're the ones that saved the world. You didn't really do all that much. Yeah, but, I mean, alright, yeah. Edge is in charge back in Eblin now. Charged with the task of rebuilding the castle and the kingdom. Stop dating girls all the time. Gotta settle down, Edge. Need an heir. Yeah, he's got a thing for Rydia. That's fair. Just really drive home the point. Rydia's the best. There she is. Amazing girl. Now what else is there to do? All the monsters are dead. You just, tour the world. See all your old friends. Why don't you have fangs like us, Rydia? Are we different? Little baby monster. It's cute. There's nothing different between us. I just have to be a super powerful level 57-ish mage and caller. Yes, and she's beautiful. Sora's like, what? Excuse me? The heart is what's important. Is that the whole point of this outro right here? Just everyone's hitting on Rydia? Everyone's pining after Rydia? Not Yang, we know he's a loyal guy. You're queen now. Still not sure how Yang survived that explosion. Or Sid for that matter. Both dangerously close. I'd say fatally close to explosions. In the back half of that game. The former king. Ooh. Wonder if he's a little salty about that. He knows. Yang's better equipped. Unlike Edward. Is he in charge now? Oh god. He was the prince of Damison? Damican? Damcyan? However you want to pronounce that. Prince Edward. Is there someone above him? Isn't he just king now? De facto? Who are these random kids? Do you want to rebuild our castle? Don't you want to rebuild the castle? Pick up a brick or something, kid. There you go. Fix one of these columns. Yeah. Anna's the only one who died in this entire game, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I was putting the Y before the C right there. That doesn't make sense. It's definitely not Damican. It's Damcyan. Lolly-ho down in the underworld here. Underground, excuse me. There's a difference in underworld and underground. A lot of rebuilding. That seems to be the prevailing sentiment in this outro. Rydia is attractive, and all the castles are torn to scrap. There you go. Won't be another war. And even if there is, Cecil's still got the airships. And the Crystal Sword, too, honestly. He could probably put us all down if he wanted to. Yeah, good news. Cecil will ascend at the Baronian throne with Rosa as the queen. Can't think of a more fitting couple. And we're invited to their ceremony. How nice. You can take your dolls. Actually, maybe don't take your dolls. That didn't work out so well last time. You're loafing on the job, Your Majesty. Isn't he more of a, scrap the tank. He already gave you the order. Do it. Lolly-ho. Can never not think of lustful lolly-ho now when I hear that expression. Kane. Thinking of Cecil and Rosa up there on maybe Mount Ordeals. Strengthen myself to be a true dragoon before going back. Until then. Probably for the best. I still don't know that I trust you to not become mind-controlled out of nowhere. You had a pretty bad track record. throughout the course of this adventure. Alright, the guy with the telescope. They actually gave him a name. What's happening to the moon right now? A little bit of Mode 7 used here in Final Fantasy IV now and again. Didn't mention it, Fluff's talked about it in length during classes on SNES games, where it played more of a prominent role, but there's our second moon leaving the orbit of the planet and coming right for that telescope by the looks of it. So the second moon disappeared there. We got flowers for the room. We got a double bed now. That's nice. We couldn't get just like a single piece bed right there, so one of us doesn't fall down into that little crack in between the two beds in the middle of the night. That's nice, though. We heard Golbez's voice through time and space, through the galaxy. There's Sid. Yeah, how are you still alive? That's alright. Just glad you're still here. Shall I say queen? I like the sound of that. Rosa is fun as he waves to the camera there. The bride needs makeup. That's not exactly a compliment from Sid right there. Ugh, the bride needs makeup. Yeah, how much time has passed? I did hear him. He said goodbye. Huh. We have our own little army of black and white mages. Emphasis on little. 3 and 3. Yeah, that's our wife. Our wife to be. Come on now, Edge. Did they meet? Yeah, I guess he met the King Giat at some point. Yang giving his respects. Palm and Porum running in. That is not your seat, Palm. Porum always there to keep him in line. And the Elder made his way here. Come a long way with the Elder. Remember, very beginnings of the game when we robbed the water crystal from him? Let's not make it awkward now. This is the day for celebration. Hello, Edward. No, you can't join the party. And Rydia as Edge turns away. Good looking group right there. Just missing Kane. But there you go. Final Fantasy IV, and as we enjoy the credits now, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. Thank you so much one last time to all my TAs for just all the support, getting us through a long game like this, covering enemies, bosses, items, facts, all that good stuff. Very much appreciate the work from them. Appreciate you for tuning in, class. attending this class. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to enroll in the Video Games 101. Do one of these classes every single week in the same spot. Love to have you enrolled. Click that like button too if you don't mind. Really does help us out to make future classes for you. And you know what? We've already encouraged you to leave a comment many times over. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead. Always love to hear your thoughts on any of the games which we cover, but certainly a game as excellent as Final Fantasy IV. But that is our time for this week. We'll let the credits play out, but yeah, we'll see you next week in the same spot for next week's class right here on Video Games 101. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.